Hey, what's up everybody? I'm making this video to kind of talk about what I'm doing on the collecting level right now. So for those of you that follow our channel for when we're talking about NFTs, comics, um, you can see that I'm talking less and less about NFTs right now. And I'm going to explain why. I'm not a believer in saying like, oh wow, we're in a bull market, or wow, we're in a bear market, and so this and that. Um, to me, a market is a market, and yes, the market for some things may be down right now, quote unquote, a bear market like NFTs, but not all NFTs are down. Number one. Number two is there are opportunities in other areas. So what I'm doing, and I'm just speaking for myself, is taking some of the money that we were putting into uh, NFTs, digital collectibles, however you want to call it, and moving them back into the physical side. So you can see that I'm doing more and more stuff with comics, also with trading cards, and also with Pokemon sealed product. Because in those markets, while we are down off of the highs of March 2021 to early 2022, and they're still showing an upward trend. So that's, to me, that's the big difference. So for example, if you look at many of the NFT projects, and I happen to be involved more in VV than other ones, so I do have a lot in DC Palm. Most of those NFTs, or even the cryptocurrency behind it, OMI, have basically the same chart pattern, which is a descending triangle with no base. And a lot of them have dropped below where it started. So for example, let's say an NFT comes out at $6.99, it pumped up, and now it's below $6.99 at around $2. And I'm not a big believer in, well, actually, I learned early on to not try to catch a falling knife. So I don't like trading in that channel where there's a descending triangle where it just goes like this, and until there's a base form. On the other hand, stuff like selected sealed Pokemon products and CGC comics for some of the more popular IPs like Amazing Spider-Man, Fantastic Four. I happen to be a Marvel guy, so just, Amazing Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, in some cases Avengers, Iron Man, Hulk, anything pretty much in the MCU that's Silver Age or sometimes Bronze Age. Those are well off the highs of the same period of March 2021 to early 2022. But if you look at the chart pattern, it's still on an upward trend. So in that sense, basically what I'm doing is buying the dip. So is this a FUD against NFTs? And no, it's just a reality check right now. What are the big problems with NFTs? Number one is fear of oncoming regulation, the uncertainty about that. And it's not just a everybody says, well, it's a macro thing. It's a macro thing. Everything is bad. Well, if you owned the Pokemon Evolving Skies sealed boxes, you wouldn't be thinking that way. So it's not just a macro thing, So there is a lot of pressure, especially in the U.S., against NFTs and crypto. So until that gets resolved, I'm going to be very cautious. I'm not selling everything. And another reason why is, especially during that time period, we had a number of things happen. It was like the perfect storm. One is the stimulus money from the feds. So number two, people were locked up at home, and so they had no way to spend the stimulus money, so they go online and they're ordering, whether it be comics or NFTs or whatnot, they're putting a lot of money back into the market. And that's no longer there. Number three is there was a lot of positive hype in NFTs, especially by some of the influencers. A lot of that is gone now, especially after the FTX debacle. And in some cases, in platforms like Vivi, there were some uh, quote unquote scandals. There was for Vivi, it was the gems that were purchased or obtained improperly, and it was the off-app gems purchases, which where basically people were buying the gem, which was a state. If you don't follow VV, it's basically a stable coin. A gem is supposed to equal $1. People were buying it for 50 cents on the dollar or less on eBay or in some on the Discord servers or through escrow services. So that basically inflated the price. So like if you're paying 50 cents on a dollar, you can drive a collectible up from $100 to $200, and you're basically paying $100. All those events are gone now, so all of that free money is gone. So, and while the comics didn't have and Pokemon didn't have that the illicit activity. Of course, there's always illicit activity somewhere where people are faking CGC stuff or repack boxes. Much of that did not come into play or got flushed out very quickly because it was just a small amount. And plus, the liquidity in stuff like sealed Pokemon boxes, also sealed Yu-Gi-Oh boxes, is quite high. Same for CGC Comics. If I wanted to unload this Amazing Spider-Man 9/8, it's not worth very much. I mean, I could post it, buy it now, close to the floor on eBay, and it would probably sell immediately. And if you look at what we're trying to do right now is, pick up more and more CGC Comics, and eBay has been really rough. A lot of it is going right now over fair market value that you see on Go Collect. So it's not an easy market. That shows how much money is out there, how much liquidity is there. Same thing for old Magic cards. For example, one things I'm picking up is revised dual lands. Those things I get every now and then. I pretty much look at them on a daily basis, but a lot of it's going over fair market value. Like I said, the market is the market. Some things are up, some things are down, whether you want to call it a bull market or a bear market. But the thing is, I don't like to blame stuff. So I don't want to say, well, there are no opportunities here, so it's the macro. Or, even for the example, some of the people who are making YouTube videos, they say, just invest what you can. Don't worry if it goes to zero. Quite frankly, I don't want my stuff to go to zero, even if I'm doing it for fun. So I don't want this comic to go to zero. That doesn't make any sense. Can I afford to lose the money for this comic? Yes, absolutely. But do I want it to be worthless? And that's the thing you have to ask yourself. It's like, not just that it goes to zero. Do I want to be a collector? And if I'm collecting for rarity, scarcity, for value, do I want it to be worthless? Let's not use the word zero. Let's call it worthless. No, I don't want that. I do collect things for fun. I like to get Funko NFTs for fun because it's fun to open the packs on the drop. But to me, it's an excuse when people say, "Oh, don't worry about it. You shouldn't worry if it goes to zero. You should be okay if you lose everything." If you're investing, that is not a good mentality. So you may say, well, maybe this guy's just salty that he lost some money on NFTs and VV. Well, luckily for me is I came in as the market was dropping. Yes, I sold some stuff off. On the VV side, I sold off all my collectibles, including my ultra rare Darth Vader. But I sold it for much higher than what it is now. And did I lose money? Some things I did, but overall, my investment in VV is still in the plus. So will I let it to go to zero? No. I have over 422 comics right now, and on the VV platform, and I'm not going to hold it to zero. I do have a stop limit level in my head, and it can go down about 25% from here, at which point I would liquidate, and I would basically end up pretty much breaking even on my VV investment. So that's my thoughts of what I'm doing, just to give you an idea. And I am aggressively picking up more and more comics and Pokemon sealed boxes. I'm also taking a lot of my raw comics that I've had stored in long boxes, and I am sending them off to CGC to be graded. They're not the best conditions. They're not. I don't think very many of the older ones, the Silver Age, are gonna grade up in the 9s, but I think it should be worth the investment to get them graded. And I'll be sharing those with you as they come back from CGC. Pretty much every 2 weeks I'm sending about 10 off, so it'll be a while before they come back in because I'm not paying for the express grading. I'm just doing the economy, and the economy isn't cheap. It's $35 plus shipping. But that's it. And to close, I guess the thing how I invest, collect, however you want to call it, is basically a reflection of my outlook on life, which is basically there's always opportunities somewhere. And I'm not basing everything on hopium. So for example, a lot of people say, whether it be an NFT project or a crypto project or a certain stock, just wait for the next bull market. Well, if you look at the chart and it's a descending triangle, and the top of that descending triangle was just when we had the stimulus money in the pandemic, I hate to break it to you, but that was a freak one-time event. Something like that will have to reoccur for those investments there that have never touched that level before to return to it. If you look at comics like Amazing Spider-Man, you'll see the exact same pattern. If you take that time frame, you'll see the descending triangle pattern. However, the key thing is it's in that time frame. And what you will see is that over time, over years, decades in some cases, that the asset, whether it be an old sealed Pokemon box, revised dual land, or ASM, whatever, graded high, it's in an upward trend, and you're seeing higher highs and higher lows. And that's where I want to be. Yeah, maybe it doesn't go to the moon, but it's going up. And that's kind of important to me. I'm not here to watch everything become worthless. Well, that's my thoughts on what I'm doing. And I'm just speaking specifically for myself and what we're doing for our store. Hopefully the strategy works. I use the word hopefully. Let's rephrase that. The strategy has worked in the past, and the odds are that it's going to continue to work. Thanks for watching, and aloha.